If 2020 was like this, then 2021 was more like this. There were some gems here and there, for example the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which was pretty pog. Road 96 was also fun, but nothing too amazing, because fucking everything got delayed. Anyway, I played games, but not new ones, so let's talk about them. Spoiler warning for all the games in the video. Timestamps in the description. So, Sony was kind enough to give us the 2 newest Tomb Raider games for free, so this was a perfect time to get introduced to the series. So I played Rise and Shadow of Tomb Raider games. Not the first one though, but I did check out a story summary of it to get myself ready for the other 2. I'm mixed about these 2 games, as I did have a blast playing them, and both games are really good. They feel like a mix of The Last of Us and Uncharted, and I like that idea. An Uncharted game with an R rating and some survival elements. But this might be the biggest problem with the series, the R rating. The only real reason for the rating is the brutal on-screen violence. The themes of the story and the plot itself could have easily been in an teen-rated game. Even Uncharted managed to have more mature themes in its story without changing the rating. The biggest question might be which one was better, in my opinion. And I would say Rise of Tomb Raider. And the reason is very similar to most people's opinion on Uncharted 2 and 3. Almost every time I ask someone which one they prefer, they'll answer the game they played first, as the 2 are so similar with the story and gameplay. Playing Shadow of Tomb Raider right after the other one felt like a chore. All I could think of was, I've done and seen all this before. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, as the gameplay is fun and the combat feels nice and the puzzles are good, but it does become a problem when even the story feels the same. The third game started off so well, and set up some very compelling ideas about Lara having to take responsibility for her actions, especially when they caused the deaths of hundreds, or hell, maybe even thousands of innocent people. I'm not talking about the ludonarrative dissonance that many people who think they are smart mention in their every single Uncharted review. In Uncharted, it is rare for the game to acknowledge all the shit that Nathan destroys and kills during his journey, which would be a problem if it wasn't a video game. The game still needs the game part, and this happens to be a shooter. But it does become a problem when the game does mention it, but doesn't do anything with it afterwards, like in Tomb Raider. There's this excellent cutscene between Lara and Jonah where Jonah calls out Lara on her bullshit, and Lara knows well enough she was the reason for the sinking of the city they are in, and the deaths of hundreds of people.
We have to stop him. It's all my fault.
We'll figure it out, okay? I promise.
No! We have to get to the hidden city before Trinity. We have to find the silver box.
Okay, but first, we're gonna help these people get to safety, and then we'll go after the box.
No one is safe! Not if he gets the box first! I have to go! I'm the only one!
You're the only one that can what? You don't know that you caused all this, Lara! Not everything is about you! These people need us here. We can do good now! Besides, what do we gotta go on? A riddle? We're gonna need more than pink fish and silver crowns to get to the hidden city. I'm gonna help these people. And then I'll find us a plane.
And then they forget about it. Speaking of missed potential, later in the game, when Jonah, Lara's best friend, is presumed dead, and Lara is left all alone to fight the enemy to correct her mistakes and not keep letting innocent people die anymore, we get a glimpse of what Lara could have turned into after losing all of her loved ones.
Sometimes I feel like I have to keep going, and if I don't, then I'll just let everyone die.
catastrophes you're doing.
I have to go! I'm the only one!
You're the only one that can what?
I actually got chills during this scene, and the gameplay section that follows is pure chaos, and it is perfect. Lara goes full berserk during the next fight.
Hey, are you okay?
I'm making everything worse.
You're not. Hey, you're not. We can do this. Come on. Where to next? Can't stay here.
I don't know, Jonah!
What was that clue? The heart of the serpent, something.
The heart of the serpent is in the cup, near the many stone faces.
And what kind of cup are we talking about? Some kind of chalice?
A chalice that's not very Mayan. Wait. It's not mine. The clue was left by a 17th century missionary, Andrea Lopez, a Jesuit. The serpent in the chalice is a symbol of St. John. We're looking for a Christian holy site.
Like a Church of San Juan? That's a pretty common name. Could be dozens.
Not within trekking distance from Paititi.
Come on, the road is this way. We'll get out of here, talk to some people.
Okay. What would I do without you?
We see Lara just sit there, broken and full of regret for what she just did. And then again, the game just forgets about it and never brings this up again. And to top it all off, they even completely forget about Lara's original motivation, which was to prevent more death and destruction. And she just goes and kills the bad guy and the game ends. Anyway, Tomb Raider was fun. If I had to say which one you should play, if you're gonna play with just one, it would be the third one. Because it does have the stronger story and the gameplay is more fleshed out too, but I personally prefer the second one. Genshin Impact didn't make it to my top 5 because I played it so little, but it is fun, especially with friends. And you can only play the story solo, so that's a big minus. Anyway, it feels like a mix of Breath of the Wild and The Division, but with a cute anime skin slapped on top of it. Never thought I'd describe a game in that way. The environments are gorgeous, and I haven't been able to explore the whole map yet. The world design is so well executed that no matter where I am, it feels like I'm in the right place and there's always something to do. A few things could have made the world even better. If it was a bit smaller in scale, it would have felt more dense and lively, and that would have also encouraged more foot traveling. And I wouldn't fast travel everywhere, but the distances are so long that it takes forever to get anywhere on foot. So, Genshin, gameplay, good, story, meh, gacha elements, not good, waifus, very good. I hate turn-based combat, and I really don't like JRPGs too much, but somehow this game is good. The story is what really carries it. I'm not that far into it yet, but I thoroughly enjoy it. It does feel to drag quite a bit in the beginning, and that can sometimes be very frustrating as I just want the story to progress. Otherwise, it is a ton of fun, but I will have to finish the game to give a proper review. One thing is for sure, the music fucking slaps. Time for the obligatory Destiny segment. I'ma keep this short though. There was no new big DLC this year, as it was delayed till 2022, but I did play the game for a couple of hours, so it must have had some content in it. Well, yeah, I guess. Of course there's the seasonal stuff, and they updated the PvP a lot, so that was good, for me at least, because I like the PvP. And just like last year, I want to talk about Dark Souls. I played it again, 3 times actually, and the DLCs too, within 2 weeks. And then I started a Cinder's mod playthrough. That is unfinished by the time writing this video. I just absolutely love this game, and especially the characters. The people and their stories are the best part of the whole series in general, and what really keeps me driving forward past the challenges of the actual, completing a Souls game. I also started my first playthrough of Dark Souls 1, and it's fun. Who would have thought? They actually added DLC to this game, those mad lads, and yes, it is excellent. We get a completely new location, some new enemies, and a bunch of new quests and side content. And of course, a new story chapter. And as the title suggests, this does feel like a section that was cut from the original story, but now it got extended to a complete expansion. The story continuation of Jin's and his father's relationship fits perfectly into the main game as well, as it is a big part of Jin's backstory. And taking this time to really focus on it and have Jin finally get through his PTSD and accept his past is so satisfying. And that moment when Jin finally rejects his father and overcomes the poison in his body, you can hear it in the music too. And I love it. As Jin's own team slowly builds up, and when he finally takes on the eagle, a heroic and bombastic version of it kicks in. Simply phenomenal.
Kill him, you coward!
No. I will never be like you. The way you lived was not my choice. And your death was not my fault.
The sacred medicine no longer affects you. How is that possible?
Alright, so last time I changed the list so I could only have completely new games in my top 5. So for example, Destiny 2's newest DLC was left out. But this year I'm doing the opposite, because fuck you again. I would have Sly 3 as my number 1, but I have played that game before and the rule to my list are only games that I haven't completed before. But this time I will include DLCs if they're good enough, and as I did in the past except last time. Anyway, if you're interested in me talking more about Sly 3, you can check out my review of it. I published earlier this year. I might leave a link in the description if I remember. Anyway, let's get to my top 5 games of 2021. It kind of feels annoying to have this game as the number 5, as I've already made a separate review of it on my channel, but too bad this game is good, so here we are. The first proper next-gen game I've played thus far, and man does it nail that part. Absolutely astonishing visuals and animation, environments are as lively as ever, and the characters are full of personality. The gameplay is smoother than a lubricated butter. Who would lubricate the... I'm not a big game completionist, but this game was so good I did get a platinum on it eventually. Not the most difficult platinum I've ever gotten, but we'll get to that later. If you're one of the 7 people who own a PS5, you owe it to yourself to play this game. And if you're worried about not playing the other Ratchet & Clank games before, that really isn't a problem, as this game is mostly about our excellent new characters like Rivet. And the reference to past RNC games are scarce and don't really affect the plot too much. The best part about the game, after the aforementioned visuals, has to be the gameplay. The guns feel unique, powerful, and sound excellent. Also, there's the whole controlling thing going on with the triggers. The platforming is easy to learn, but has a few neat tricks that take getting used to master. I'm not gonna get into story details this time, as you can just check my other video on Rift Apart for that. Or a better option, play the game yourself. I've plugged my own videos so many times in this video that I feel like this has to be just one big commercial for my channel. Okay, so for those who don't know me too well, this list might be quite triggering and confusing, and this might be the biggest what the fuck of this video, as my number 4 game of the year is... Yes, the winner of Game of the Year 2018, the year that Red Dead Redemption 2 came out. So this game should be one of the best ever. Well, yes, it is, and I love it, and I couldn't be more excited for Ragnarok. I've always loved movies and games that take risks, even when they might not succeed. I like uniqueness. As an example, I personally prefer The Last Jedi over Force Awakens, even if I might agree that Force Awakens is better. I love Legend of Korra, and will die on that hill that I personally think it is better than The Last Airbender, even if it really isn't, you know what I mean. This is why I'm not the biggest fan of God of War, even if it is an excellent game. It's not like the game doesn't take any risks. It actually is a huge departure from the original series, which could have easily been a bad thing, as it might have angered old fans. But even with its hugely differing style from previous games in the series, it really doesn't do anything new or things that haven't been done better before. The gameplay is polished and fun, and well designed, but it is a lot like Dark Souls, but not as deep and focused. The exploration is similar to Uncharted, but even more automated. The RPG elements are just basic RPG elements. Well, the story of Kratos and Atreus' relationship is a lot like Joel and Ellie's, but worse. So those are my biggest complaints about this game, but it really isn't even a bad thing, as the game does all of its aspects so well that nothing stands out. But as I used many examples of other games doing these separate parts better. So for someone looking for the best game of all time, this might just be it. But it isn't the best in any certain category. The world design and set pieces might just be the best part about this game. And that is something it does better than pretty much any other AAA single player game I've ever played. The graphics are gorgeous and the level detail is insane. And the use of color is so out of this world sometimes and I love it. And this shit on PS4 running in, I'm not sure if it's 4K, but I think it's at least 2K and 60 FPS. And it looks absolutely amazing. I do like that you don't have to play the other games to enjoy this one. You pretty much need to only know who Kratos is. I really appreciate the storytelling in this game and how it is handled very maturely. Kratos' past isn't hammered into your face all the time, but only gets referred to here and there. We also see how that past affected Kratos as a person without the game straight up mentioning it. We actually see it through Kratos' actions and behavior. It seems like I've been very negative so far on this game. It is truly an amazing piece of art and emotional story of these two people's relationship. Such a real and pure tale and I love it to bits. I recommend this game to everyone out there as it has something that everyone can enjoy. Good gameplay, gorgeous visuals and a gripping story with stellar voice acting. A must play, but I hope the sequel takes more risks and goes even wilder with its design and setting.
And you must be better than me. Understand? Behind me. Say it.
He will be better.
This might be the second controversial one, but I don't give a shit like I said. I am fully aware of the slight problems regarding this game's performance. Ignoring those, what do we get? Flashing lights, sex, violence, and to top it all that we have Keanu Reeves saying
An impressive cock.
truly a game ahead of its time. Jokes aside, what made me have this disaster above a masterpiece like God of War? Mostly because I enjoyed playing it more. That takes me to my first point. Gameplay. Holy shit, this game is so much fun to mess around with. It starts off slow and shooting feels clunky and enemies take tons of hits to kill. Then the game slaps you with a gameplay section as Keanu fucking Reeves, aka Johnny Silverhand. And the power fantasy is insane, and the best part is, in time, you can get your own character there as well. My favorite build in this game is the revolver build, where you stack crit damage and headshot damage and crit damage, and then run around the city one-shotting everyone in the head. The game says stealth is optional, and you really should take this to heart. Not that it is bad, but considering your option either being hiding behind cover and sneaking up on dudes, or stripping yourself naked having your cyber blade arms ready to slice everyone to pieces. I'll take the latter one every time. Okay, what else is good about this game? Oh yeah, everything except driving. But the story and the characters are really what drives the game forward, and the top-notch world design makes everything feel even more alive. Aside from all the hectic action, the most memorable moments are the columns in between. This game is at its best when you get to just sit down, spend time with the other characters. The quest design in this game is stellar as well. You get to see so many different people face all of these awesome family-friendly situations like abusing working girls and facing psycho-autistic kidnapping torturers to some even more heavy ones. So the story isn't most lighthearted one, no. But is it enjoyable? Hell yes. And I feel like I have to make a separate video on this game's story someday. One huge and very important about this game is its music. And well, the best way to describe it is to show how it sounds to play Cyberpunk. There's a certain feeling you get when you play Cyberpunk. Like the world gives a vibe that I could only describe it combining music genres. Like imagine K or J-pop combined with dubstep and heavy metal. That's like the vibes I get from the design of Cyberpunk's streets and its people and everything. It's a cruel world and sometimes you just get screwed over. Like there's this one point where you don't basically get entirely backstabbed, but someone just shoots you in the face. That's how Night City works. But mysteriously you survive, and this is the moment that it woke something inside me. You could say rage and a grave for violence. I just have this feeling that I have to go and shoot someone in the face while playing this game, because otherwise I feel like I'm doing something wrong, and because the guy who betrayed me is dead and I have a target, so to say, and I'm dying, and the hopelessness that I get from everyone always just mentioning you're gonna die, it reminds me of something like Arthur Morgan, and it makes me quite sad, but it also gives me hope to fight for the future, and especially Night City, where this game just makes me feel alive when I'm playing it. And that sounds so cheesy, but I don't give a fuck.
Would you rather live in peace as Miss Nobody, or go down for all times in a blaze of glory?
This is the part where I'm gonna cheat the system, but too bad, because my number 2 game is The Old Hunters. This mediocre-sized DLC made this game my favorite Souls game, and even quite possibly my favorite single-player game of all time. I even went out through the pain of getting a platinum on this game. It took a couple of hours and multiple playthroughs, but I got there eventually. Might have left my sanity somewhere along the way though. Let's talk about Old Hunters. The actually best part about Bloodborne story. How were the hunters originally created? Why are they stuck in the dream? And the biggest question too, what the hell is this hunter's nightmare that we are in? Well, basically it's hell for hunters, where they get sent to participate in an eternal hunt after dying. Sounds fun. Well, sometimes. Mostly it's just pain, as the DLC contains 5 bosses, and 4 of them are the game's hardest ones. Oh boy. But why are we here? Well, to leave the curse of the eternal hunt, I guess, and go kill some old hunters who are stuck here as well. They're all here. It's like a family gathering. We get the southern racist uncle Ludwig, the weirdly hot aunt Maria, and the cranky disabled old man Lawrence. We don't talk about him. In fact, we deny his existence. Why, you ask? Well, fuck Lawrence. And of course, let us not forget about the Izanagisburger Destiny clan. And then there is Jesus himself, if he was born from a long dead corpse that made him upset. So now he's gonna beat you with a sharpened placenta. And what exactly makes this DLC fun? Well, nothing. So I guess it sucks? Huh. There's also a couple of things I wanna shout before talking about my number 1, and those are Far Cry 5, which me and my friend are currently playing. We haven't finished it yet. I didn't talk about it in this video, but I started playing it pretty much after I started making this video, so too bad. And, of course, Nerds Online. Now, this game was a surprise. All I really expected was a mediocre Amnesia clone. But what I got was one of the best stories in video game history. And the way the story is presented actually uses mechanics only available in video games to its advantage. The gameplay consists mostly of sneaking around, as if you get spotted, you'll die. You gotta complete some light gameplay puzzles to bypass areas and enemies in an underwater facility. How deep underwater? Well, yes. And as you later find out, apparently all life on Earth is gone, and you're the only one left. And the humans were planning on leaving Earth and launching a probe, I think, to space with a big-ass gun. So that is our objective. The gun is at the seafloor, by the way, because I think everything is dead in the surface. Anyway, how'd we get here though? Well, you're not actually a human, but an AI construct of someone who was. The original human is dead, been dead for a long time, and you're just a copy of his mind, basically. At some point in the story you need to get yourself a new body, so you're going to transfer your AI. Except it really doesn't transfer it, but makes a copy. So this happens.
I have everything under control. Sorry about any discomfort. This should be over soon.
It's like having your picture taken.
But with the most expensive camera in the world.
You know, Indians thought photos would steal their souls.
In this case, they'd be right.
So I get my head ripped off. Splurred.
It's gonna be just fine.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ. The blur. Look.
Just
Can't you run a diagnosis or something?
you'll survive.
What was that?
What the fuck?
Why was it still talking?
It's the same like before.
Catherine, why was he still talking?
That's how it works.
Oh, I'm a copy.
What do you mean?
You know it's not magic. You were copied. The sleeping Simon in the seat was copied, and now you are here, just like Simon lived on in Toronto.
God damn you, Kath. Two Simons?
Whack.
There can't be two Simons.
What did you think would happen?
That you were gonna take my mind and put it into another body, like a brain transplant.
I'm sorry, it wouldn't work that way.
You realize how messed up this is?
Please, I didn't mean to upset you.
How did you expect me to react to this shit?
Please stop.
You're fucking disgusting. What's gonna happen to him?
He'll sleep for a while, a few days.
And then what? Wake up in this fucking nightmare again? All alone? So cruel.
Well, what do you want me to do with him? Make friends? Let him know that we have to leave him behind when we go into the abyss?
What if he didn't need to wake up?
You'd do that?
I don't know. Maybe.
There. I set it up for you. Hit the switch if you want to drain his battery. He'll die within a minute. I'd rather not stay plugged in any longer.
You could have said something.
There we go.
That's sad.
Anyway.
It's still sad.
The way you now experience the game from this perspective and see the other you in the other body gave me chills. Fucked up shit. Now let's talk atmosphere. If you've played Subnautica, you will know what you're getting into with this game. I am one of those people who hates deep waters. So being at the literal ocean floor is pretty disturbing to me. And this game really makes you feel like you're underwater. Even if you aren't able to swim around, the movement is made to feel heavy and slow, but you can also float around a bit. Environments are good all around, and the lighting is what really makes it look amazing. I like how they saved the scariest part until the very end of the game. First, you have this long ass fucking elevator ride so far down the ocean floor that light cannot reach there, so you can literally see nothing without a light source. It is just pitch black. And also there are angry fishes around. Pain. Alright, so after all that suffering and shitting your pants constantly, we've finally made it to the big gun. So we gotta transfer our AI to the gun and send it to space. But this is where we are faced with a terrible truth. As I mentioned, that the transferring is just making a copy of your mind, and the original will be left as it is. And this time we are the ones left behind. As the lights start to go out, and we are coming to the realization of what happened, we even lose our connection to the only living person left, our companion, as she was also just an AI.
Catherine? Please don't leave me alone. Catherine? Catherine?
Alright, so I wanted to do this quick outro because this is gonna be my last video for my last proper video for a while, and I don't wanna end it on such a grim note. I just wanted to say thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll leave you guys with more of an up note ending to this video. So thank you once again. Goodbye. I have a plan. Can we destroy that?
So I don't know what's gonna happen if we destroy it. So I'd say mennään hakee se missioni, mutta ensin mennään hakee.
Oh shit! Oi!
Okay.
I'm a cowboy, not a redneck. There's a clear difference.
Hiljaa.
Ai. Tiedätkö muuten mikä se ero on?
No.
Cowboyt ratsastaa hevosia ja redneckit niitä serkkuja. It's true.
I get it.
Ai!
Nyt kuuluu tömps ääni. Niin tästä pääsee, siellä on yö.
On aika paljon tehty. On aika paljon videopelejä, kun mä niinku on nähnyt asioita. Lämme ylös.
Arne, pois. Alas. Ei sinne. Älä tee sitä.
Joo, se taas olla tömps.
Oh, come on. See, we got plunged. We would have been fucked up. I'm plunging again.
Let's go. Kakkonen, eka Minotaur.
You get him?
Let's go.
Oh shit, let's go.
We got a lot of players. Mä en halua ampua.
Mitä sä haluat? Touch me.
Tässä on päällä.
Jaha.
Näin.
On my way.
Pää kävi mun perseessä.
Aha.